Hey chat, what's up? So I'm sure we all know that Bounty Rush has a lot of EXs, and that a large amount of them are widely hated. But today I come bearing a list of EXs not only hated, but also adored by the community. Let's kick it off with the most loved. And to kick off the list, we have Extreme Legendary Rob Lucci. Not to be confused with the new Dark Element Defender Lucci. EX Lucci was straight up adored because of how balanced and low maintenance he was on release, and it felt like a breath of fresh air after S-Snake and Dark Roger's horrid metas ended. Lucci went on to last for almost 2 years. Almost 2 years after his release, proving to be one of the best investments for players, further strengthening his status in the community. But some players still refuse to let go of the poor guy after he fell off. And let's be for real, he has fallen off. Let him rest in peace. He served us well enough. Next up, we have our boy, EX Trafalgar D. Waterlaw. Yes, I full governmented the guy. Not to be confused with the dual EX Law and Kid. EX Law was always one of the best, or one of the only extreme runners that was built entirely for running, which helped players really appreciate how good the unit was without going overboard. Law is also one of the only runners in the game still active that helps us clutch matches to this day, without wiping out the entire team with some bullshit skill, which really helped the player base grow fond of the unit. Continuing on, I got your boy Extreme Marshall D. Teach, or David E. Teach from my ball knowers. This guy is a very controversial addition to the list, because while the unit is definitely broken as an attacker, he was never really that hard to deal with, and had a major weakness against enemies with damage reduction, which made him a fairly balanced EX in his meta and helped the player base really enjoy playing him. I believe Kizaru did irreparable damage to how people view attackers, and this guy definitely helped the agenda that all attackers didn't have to be like Kizaru. And back to Kizaru, the Kizaru mains weren't really the happiest about this unit. Anybody you see hating on this unit, probably a Kizaru main or a Gear 5 main. Other than that, he's a very chill unit. Can't go wrong with him. Not too broken. And finally, we have your boy, Extreme Sabo. Sabo was a fairly solid unit in his time, and really saved us from the Galaxy spam-packed meta by one-shotting guard players and blocking Kuzons from locking down treasures. Sure, Sabo caused a tons of treasure meta, but it was significantly less stressful to play in this meta than with Kuzon's meta. Kuzon's meta was basically a meta where the first team to get the middle flag won, and the player base saw him as a necessary evil to stop their problems, and he did so well. Well, at least until Kizaru arrived. And to end off the loved list, we have a honorable mention, and that is King of the Pirates, Green Element, Gold D. Roger. Not to be confused with Dark Element Roger. This dude was definitely busted when he first released, and even when he was first buffed a while back, he was still a pretty laid back unit, even though he was dropping like 13 KOs per game. He had a very low cortisol playstyle along with a very cheap cost of 1000 RDs, which made him pretty much affordable for everybody. And to make it even better, they recently gave him away for free. You literally cannot hate this unit. Just look at this chud. How can you hate somebody like him?
I tell you what, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way or we can do it the hard way. The choice is yours.
Next up, to kick off the most hated list, we got the Human Filth Borsalino, aka Kizaru. This guy straight up popped up in the meta, one-shot everyone with his skills, refused to elaborate, and just left. The guy came and made 99.9% of the units in the game at the time unplayable. There was not a single playable unit other than Akainu, just the buffed Akainu, which gave him the well-deserved title of the most hated unit in all of Bounty Rush's history. Continuing, we got the utterly disgusting and filthy Lolly S Snake. Anyone who played her in her meta knows the pain of not being able to do jack shit with her around. The second she sat her ass on a flag, it was GG's. There was nothing that you could do to stop her from ruining your day. And if that wasn't bad enough, she would straight up teleport to wherever you tried to go after that. And I myself quit the game for like a month when she dropped, until I got Blue NO. But by then the damage was already done. This lolly earned the title of being one of the most hated units in the game. And she still is. She's definitely one of those units that are still unkillable unless you have a Kizaru on your team, or some teammates to jump her. Next up, we actually have Extreme, Zoro, and Sanji. Now, Zoro Sanji is another controversial unit that could definitely be placed in both categories, but due to the fact that he basically created a disgusting meta where the teams whose Sanji got stacked first would basically immediately win, I just had to put him in the hated list. Now, if you don't have Sanji, you're gonna disagree with me, but if you don't have him, you're gonna agree. So it's one of those things where if you don't have the unit, you don't realize how good he's viewed by the other side of the community, while the other side that has it thinks it's balanced. But let me be for real, completely unbiased, he's a disgusting unit to play against, and he is not balanced, and I really hope he gets hard countered soon. This unit just slowly grew to be hated by half of the community because of how diabolical he was and how close to Kizaru he is in nature. Lastly, we got the man, the myth, the beast, Saint Ethan Baron v Nusjuro. As a Nusjuro owner myself, I never really ran into issues during his meta, but I know the full pain of players being one-shot by the guy with no type of comeback. The second Nusjuro got all his gauges and captured all the flags, it was just finished, if your team didn't have a Nusjuro of your own. However, Nusjuro, while definitely bad, had his counters, units that had unusually high damage reduction, and Kizaru could check him quite easily and prevent him from winning if you somehow managed to steal the mid flag. But that didn't prevent him from ruining people's days and earning the title of the most hated unit alongside Kizaru. And to close, I got a honorable mention of Dark Roger. Dark Roger was another unit that saved us from a first to get to mid flag wins. But unlike Sabo's meta, Roger was built like an unstoppable train. He could not be killed by the units at the time. Nearly every single defender in the meta at the time became completely useless, and that forced the player base to just straight up cap flags and pray. And even the one counter that he had, being Gear 5v1, would straight up be rendered useless the second he wasted at least 2 of his skills. And while not as hated as the others, he was definitely a diabolical unit that we never want to see a repeat of in the meta. Ain't gonna hold you. Now, before I end the video, I want to let you know that this video doesn't include all of the units in each category, but I put the worst of the worst on this list. I didn't want to turn this into a 30-minute video, so I excluded some units like Film Red Shanks or EXO Negashima Zoro, or maybe even Gear 5v1. But drop your opinions in the comment section, drop the units that you personally hate, and you can have a conversation with me or with others on that. But thanks so much for watching. Peace out. God bless you all.